Welcome back to Texas Top Homes, where home buying, selling, and financing are all simplified. I'm your host, Freeman Sawyer, and with me is my co-host, Nancy Curry. Today, we're visiting with one of Texas' top builders, Suzanne Spalding, with First Texas Homes.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Suzanne, you mentioned earlier that you've been doing this for 25 years. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that 25 years. With that many years in the business, what little bit of advice would you like to leave the listeners with?
I'd like to leave them with the advice to really scope out and look at the home builders. There are a lot of builders, as we all know, out there, but I think that to look at First Texas Homes, I think that they will not be disappointed. You will get, like I said, a lot of home for the money. I also think that the buyers really, for their benefit, need to get pre-approved first, of course, with a company like Skyline. And then they'll really know, what they can afford before they even come in, to visit with me. Mm-hmm. And then we can really help them. I can help them more with the building process if I know, under my belt, what we're really looking at for the buyer.
Right, and we can certainly help them with the pre-approvals. We welcome that.
Yeah, I know.
Let's talk about building a house. So I know you guys have 5 move-in ready homes out there. You've already sold a quick 5 with the grand opening. But if someone comes out there and they want to do some custom changes to a floor plan, what is the normal build time out there you guys are working with?
Well, I'm estimating now from the time that we actually sit down and fill out the paperwork about 8 to 9 months. It could be a little sooner, but that's an estimate. Of course, it depends on the weather and the trades, but that's our estimate.
That's right. If it keeps raining, it might be a little longer.
That's right.
So one of the things I think is important out there for listeners to know, if I do decide to take new construction home, and they're going to build, and let's say it's 8 or 9 months, when I write my contract, my purchase price is locked in at that point, correct?
That's correct.
So as the year goes by, and we know what the market's doing in North Texas, it's going up by leaps and bounds. The buyer's actually picking up all that equity while their home's being built, correct?
Well, that is true, because once you lock in on the contract, if we have price increases, which certainly could happen,
certainly
you're
do
locked
happen.
in. You're locked in, so that you're gaining equity because you've written ahead of time.
So before you actually ever move in, you're actually building up equity. What's the deposit or the earnest money that's typically required in your community?
The earnest deposit total is $3,000. We require $1,500 up front with the contract, and then several weeks later, when the buyers, myself, and the builder sit down to what we call a red line meeting, which is an important meeting. It really lays out, sets the tone for the whole building of the home. There's an additional $1,500 at that time, so
That's
total
nothing.
$3,000. It's really not a lot of money.
So for
For the
$3,000, I get to build my house or starting to build my house. I get to pick up equity, and I'm not making any payments on it for 8 or 9 months.
Isn't that great?
Wow.
Only at First Texas.
Isn't that great?
So just to recap, First Texas Homes is a beautiful quality home. Midlothian the growth is great in Midlothian right now. People can get whatever they want whenever they need it. And then Ellis County's taxes are just low. It all makes sense to come to Windermere Estates and build a home.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, that's all true. I mean, it's growing by leaps and bounds out there.
Suzanne, if somebody wants to visit you online, what's the website?
It is www.firsttexashomes.com. You can go directly. You can put in the community of Windermere Estates, and it'll take you right to our website.
Great. If they want to call you, what's your phone number?
972-775-4117.